And while YouTube doing this thing, I'm gonna hit record and I'm gonna share. So first I'm gonna start with introduction and wait just one moment. And while YouTube doing this thing, I'm gonna hit record, share. So first I'm gonna start with introduction and wait just one moment. And while YouTube doing this thing, I'm gonna hit and let me mute YouTube so I won't be hearing myself talk. It's too funny. Technology. Okay, I have recorded and I'm going to also share. Um, Okay, hi everyone, and thank you guys for tuning in. Today we're going to go over Potted Puff Rwanda experience with Idris. So pretty much we're going to go over the itinerary, and we're going to also leave questions and answers towards the end. So definitely, if you have a question, um, most likely just pause and wait, because most likely your question going to get answered very soon. So we're going to get through and then we're going to open the floor definitely for questions and answers, just in case we didn't cover you. So again, I'm Cindy Tolbert. I'm actually the founder of Potter Puff Travel. I am a certified travel agent and also a business owner. I create and create travel for women just to get away, enjoy, and I pick destinations that people tend to be a little fear of, traveling by themselves or just want to explore and enjoy. And I'm gonna let Idris introduce himself.
Thank you so much, Cindy. My name is Idris Kamoga. I'm the DMC expert for Uganda and Rwanda. So normally we create inspiring journeys for our clients visiting the two destinations. And we've got a rich product knowledge about the two destinations. That is Rwanda and Uganda. Thank you.
So the Rwanda experience is gonna be November the 12th through the 18th. And I'm going to start with arrival. So Idris, tell us about what's going to be so special about arrival.
Thank you so much, Cindy. Um, First of all, I want to welcome everyone who is tuned in for this session. Secondly, just to let whoever is probably looking forward for this amazing journey come 2025, we're looking forward to hosting you in a VIP way. We'll give you much treatment of what you should expect about destination Rwanda. Everything is ready. That's what I can say. We're just waiting for those that are uh, committing to be part of the upcoming tour, probably to experience Rwanda in a different perspective. Well, the itinerary is ready. We'll be hosting a group. Probably it will be a primate experience where clients will be visiting Rwanda for gorilla trekking. At the same time, they'll also be visiting Nyungwe for chimpanzee trekking. So it will be a very lovely experience, especially for those that are planning to So you can plan as early as now, because we've got uh, things like gorilla permits, chimpanzee trekking permits. These are actually sold on first come, first serve basis. So ideally, if anyone is planning to be part of the primate experience, at least for you to be guaranteed of the treks, you must have your trekking permits, and they are sold on high demand. So early as now, when you see us planning, just so you know that time is almost. So we need to plan as this in advance so that we can be able to have a seamless experience.
Yeah, because
See,
Yeah, because a lot of people ask why so advanced. So that's one of the definitely main reasons, because these permits are limited. So definitely to secure and guarantee that we have these permits, we definitely have time is not exactly on our side because permits are very popular. So that's the reason, at least what about more than a year in advance. Um, yeah, I want to say what about 12, 13 months before November
sure, sure,
interest.
sure, sure, sure.
Yeah, so definitely if Rwanda is definitely is on your bucket list. The biggest thing is securing those permits as soon as possible. So that's the reason things are definitely more than a year in advance, so we could include that in our experience. So we actually doing gorilla, the golden monkey and the chimpanzees.
Sure.
Mhm.
So basically, if we can have those before,
Idris, I think you just went out. Your volume just went out.
and that would be very, very good because every can you I can hear you, Cindy.
Yeah, so we didn't hear you say at least if we have it by when. I didn't hear it.
You can hear me now, right?
Yes, yes, I can hear you now.
Cool, cool, cool. I was saying that uh, just stressing the point of securing the permits in advance, that if we could have permits for everyone, that would be very, very much better because everyone will be guaranteed for the primate experiences. You talked about gorilla, golden monkey, and the chimpanzee trek. The rest, I think, I'm not saying they can wait, but if you have the permits, the rest of the trip, we are confident that everything is secure 100%. So, about I have the itinerary before me, probably
Did you
to
want to
take.
briefly go over the flow of the itinerary, what we're doing day one when you're picking us up at the airport? One of the
Sure,
things that I do want to say, because he mentioned the VIP service, for Wanda, you do need a visa, but we're doing visa upon arrival. So we actually, with the VIP service, you're gonna have immigration that's gonna be helping you with that, with the visa process. And one good thing about the VIP service, um, the aim is to get you out of the airport within 15 minutes. That's the goal. So not standing in very long lines with everybody else, waiting, trying to fill out forms. You're gonna be whisked away to a lodge somewhere where you're gonna be probably drinking coffee or tea and relaxing while
sure.
while you're going through the visa process. So that's definitely a big plus with the Wanda experience. Did you have anything else to piggyback on that part,
Yeah.
Tris? Did I
Mm,
cover that well?
Sure, sure, you did. So, like you said, we plan to have our day one as on arrival. That would be on Wednesday, 12th November 2025. So we're just planning this in advance. Of course, when you land, you'll have to go through the VIP meet and greet. Like you said, it's a fast track arrangement where you don't have to queue from the tarmac straight to the VIP lounge. Probably you can grab your coffee, you can grab your juice, you can connect on internet. You can tell your family, I've arrived very well in Rwanda. Of course, the team will come and collect your luggage tags, of course, to ideally go and get your luggage and the bags. Here, you don't touch your bags. You'll probably be escorted to the immigration team for your visa. Remember, it's a fast track. 10, 15 minutes, you should be out of the airport terminal, probably meeting your driver guides onwards to your hotel. And it's 25 minutes from Kigali International Airport to the hotel,
So one,
and then
so one key point you made, and this is great for women, you don't touch your bags. So
sure.
someone will be immediately touching your bags, and you don't have to worry about. And plus, you shouldn't be carrying so much luggage. This is it should be one bag because it is a you're gonna be in a Jeep, so definitely you should be packing light in a way, but you don't get to touch your bags. So I love that part.
And I would recommend probably our travelers to have soft duffel bags. These are known for travelers, as opposed to uh, suitcases, right? Um, the ones that we can be, very compatible in our Jeeps, you know. So soft duffel bags would be very ideal. And of course, depending, but would recommend highly for people to travel light. You can have your personal effects. We'll send in um, some travel guide manuals about luggage and all that stuff.
Yep, you'll be totally prepared for that. We'll tell you how
Sure.
many kilograms that's recommended, and pretty much every place that you're gonna be staying at gonna have laundry service, which you could utilize. So definitely we're gonna strongly advise because you're gonna be trekking, right? So we're not gonna be looking like superstars trekking. You're gonna be wearing light, weight clothes because a lot of time, and you're not gonna be wearing high heels through the
No.
hiking. So definitely that eliminate a lot of stuff that we normally pack in our suitcases. So
So
I think again, if you hear me again,
of course,
your internet's kind of fading out a little.
guides you proceed to the.
Could you hear me?
So on depending on your arrival time, of course you'll have dinner. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Before we couldn't
Okay.
hear anything you were saying. If you
So after getting in the hands of your professional local driver guides, you'll proceed to the hotel, and then upon check-in, then you'd have your dinner on that day. On the second day, of course, you'll have not an early ride. Then you'll proceed to visit the Kigali Genocide Memorial. And now Kigali Genocide Memorial, it's a big highlight. It's located in the city center of Kigali, and it's commonly known as the Genocide Memorial Museum. And this was created as a joint partnership of the Kigali City Council and the UK-based agency trust. it's an emotional experience, but this is one of the biggest highlight. Out of 10 visitors will end up to the genocide, you know, to it has got three sections, the children's sections, the international section, and someone will have to go through this emotional moment. But the idea is how Rwanda has
Mm.
actually changed and reunited, from the 1994, you'll go through the reconciliation. If possible, you would also meet one of the genocide survivors for a conversation. It's something that, very inspiring to listen to some of these genocide survivors. And that will happen for about 1.5 hours before driving down to Volcanoes National Park. As you can see, at about 10:30, this is when you drive to Volcanoes National Park. And this is about 2.5 hours from Kigali. Probably arriving at the resort at about 13 hours. You check in and then you have lunch. And the afternoon, you can take complimentary activity at the lodge. You know, you could choose to relax. You may choose to have maybe a spa or a sauna or something like that. You could choose to walk around the property just for sightseeing, probably. And by 18 hours, you have your dinner and overnight stay at the Virunga Inn Resort and Spa. This is one of the newest add-ons in Volcanoes, but it's a very nice mid-range facility. Very beautiful. The services are very okay, and majority of the guests that have actually lived in, they have appreciated it. On our day 3, of course, it will be an early rise, starting the day at about 6 a.m. Grab your breakfast and proceed to the park headquarters for the gorilla trekking briefing. And on this day, when you get to the park headquarters, you'll be briefed. There will be a lot of um, talk about mountain gorillas. At the park headquarters, usually there are screens trying to water you with the experience of your expectations that you're actually going in. Coffee is there. So for coffee lovers, we'll still grab, coffee, no matter, there's espresso, there's latte, and all this is to gear you up for the experience, and at no additional, payment. It's for the clients, some cultural performances are on just to gear you up. So it's really a very beautiful day, a very beautiful day. So you expected to drive off to the trailhead from the park reception at about 8 o'clock. And this is when you step into the jungle for gorilla trekking. So you'll do the trekking. The trekking is all about moving towards the mountain gorillas. And as you're moving towards the mountain gorillas, they are also moving ahead, probably looking for food, looking for where to stay, spend their next night, looking after their families, all that stuff. So depending on the gorilla family you are allocated, remember each family is visited by 8 people per day. And there's quite a number of families. So allocation is done on ground by the park official. But still for example, if we have elderly, if we have guests with walking difficulties, we can make special requests, especially for those with walking difficulties, to have groups or families that are easy. Easy may not be easy for, like a walk in a park, because as you move towards the gorillas, they are also moving. But one assurance I can say that even the slowest trekker will have to meet the mountain gorillas. No one is left behind. We have the idea of porters, where you pay an extra fee of about 250 for a return journey for the porters. For those that have actually feel you cannot make it to the gorillas, you can go one way, and if you feel you cannot go any further, of course, there is a team of porters that can carry you probably to the gorillas and back. You see, so you meet the mountain gorillas for 1 hour. When you meet them, and you'll be guided through, and we expect you to be back from the jungle at about from midday and 2 p.m. You should be out. So probably you can have hot lunch at the lodge, but sometimes you have the backpack where you can throw your small lunch box or probably your drinking water. Uh, you got some solid shoes, solid trekking shoes. The lodge can provide you with gaiters. The walking sticks are also provided. You'll be advised to come with some waterproof pants, the ponchos, hand garden gloves. Probably you can end up touching on some trees with some thorny like, you know, there are some leaves that would end up giving you some burns. So we recommend those, you know, handy gloves, your garden gloves when you're doing the mountain gorilla trek. Plus a number of tips that we'll be sharing with you probably for those that will be.
Mhm.
Yes. Of course, when you
Yeah, we
return in the
will
afternoon, you have
actually
your lunch and
share
probably
a whole
relax, and at
packing
about
list for those who interested in this. Once they sign up, a whole packing list would definitely go out on the things with the waterproof, the poncho, the waterproof pants and things like that. Um, we would come up with the list and then send it out.
thank you. So in the afternoon at about 15 hours, this is when you visit the Ellen DeGeneres campus at the Dean Fosse Gorilla Fund facility that houses now the Karisoke Research Center. Um, Probably you go here to have more information about mountain gorilla conservation. It's a special one built by Helen DeGeneres in honoring the works of Diane Fossey, the former primatologist that saw and probably return for your overnight stay and dinner at about 18 hours or something. Already by 18 hours, it is dark in Rwanda. So you're back, have your dinner, and probably you can choose to have your campfire around, and then you retire probably in your room at the end of the day.
Okay.
We still have an early rise because we have a primate trek, which is a golden monkey trek. This is not as hard as you age in people's garden, So it's an early rise with briefing, of course, and then 8 o'clock you're in the jungle for the trek, and about 11 o'clock you should be out of the jungle after meeting the golden monkeys. We assume we return to the lodge for lunch, for lunch, refresh, relax. Then in the afternoon, we go for the cultural village visit. what we call Ibiwachu. Ibiwachu is my culture in Kinyarwanda. So it's a demonstration of what the traditions used to be, the king's palace, how the local life of Rwandan, um, how the Rwandans marry, something like that. It's to demonstrate to you um, the daily way of life of the indigenous Rwandan. It's a very lovely experience that can take you about 2 hours, probably to enrich you about the local culture of Rwanda. Of course, you'll be returned back to your lodge at Virunga Inn Resort and Spa for your overnight stay. The next day, which is day 5, 16th of November, we have our breakfast, then we prepare to transfer to Nyungwe. Nyungwe to Volcanoes to Nyungwe is about 5 hours, but it is a very scenic, very beautiful drive, along the Kivu belt. It's very beautiful. You have Lake Kivu on that side, the green, it's all beautiful. And we expect to be arriving at about 13 hours. So you'll check in, and of course you'll have lunch, and that day will be the afternoon for relaxation. Probably the next day we are preparing ourselves for chimpanzee trek. So you'll just chill on your balcony, your veranda, enjoy good time moments with your loved ones. Then, and there will be staying at Nyungwe Top Hill View. It is also a very lovely mid-range facility along the edge of Nyungwe Forest. On our day 6, we'll start with an early rise, about 5 a.m. for chimpanzee trekking. Meeting the chimpanzee is also a very beautiful thing. Very beautiful thing. So you would probably have a good time seeing the chimpanzees dashing from one tree to the other, looking after their families, moving around, looking for food, making their nest, something like that. So it can take you about 4 or 5 hours, and we'll again come back and have your lunch, refresh, relax a bit, and at the about 15 hours of the day, we'll return for the canopy walk.
Idris, I have a question. How much time will we spend with the chimpanzees? I know for gorillas, you spend an hour or less with them, but how long will we be spending with the gorillas?
The chimpanzee is also 1 hour
About 1 hour.
upon
Okay.
meeting them. Yes, upon
So it's pretty
meeting them.
much the hiking in there and the time and then
Eh,
coming back
uh,
is the 4 hours. Okay.
sure, 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 sure.
Will we be
So we
going
also
to the
go,
incline or is it pretty flat to the
uh,
chimpanzees?
Rwanda is a land of 1,000 hills.
Yes, 1,000 hills.
So everywhere you see, actually, I was seeing some clip on YouTube. Um, Someone said, client said, Rwanda is more than 1,000 hills. See, so the landscape is undulating. You have hills, downs, and yeah. So you may not have something like a kilometer, which is very flat.
Mm.
Yeah, so, but it's all beautiful for those that have actually done the chimpanzee trek before. The experience is awesome. So the canopy walk, where you have this suspended bridge, which is 90 meters above. The idea here is to have the birds, eye view of the entire forest. Of course, you'll be able to see um, the monkeys from the birds from above, the forest, the vast views of the forest. And this takes about 2 hours. There's the climbing and the walk along the bridge, then down. It's a very beautiful, you know, walking along the 160-meter long suspended bridge. Um, of course, you have to see a lot of flora and fauna on this experience. And these are some of the biggest highlights in Nyungwe: the chimpanzee trek and the canopy walk. Of
Oh
course, we'll
yeah.
return to Nyungwe Top Hill View for dinner and overnight stay. Then pretty much on our last day, which is our day 7, where we begin with breakfast. Of course, we drive back to Kigali. So from Nyungwe to Kigali is 5 hours. The roads are very smooth all the way.
No
From
bumping.
no bumping, about 5 hours back. Of course, we'll have an en route visit of the Ethnographic Museum, and we continue to Kigali, um, arriving in about time for lunch. Then we could grab our lunch. Then, depending on our flight departure time, of course, which requires about 2 to 3 hours, to be at the airport, or drive at our convenience after lunch to Kigali International Airport, and then we'll be able to check in for our departing flight. So that's how fine our journey will be for 7 days in Rwanda come 2025 in November.
Yeah, so it sounds like a very awesome experience. I cannot wait. So I'm going to leave the floor open for questions and answers. Here are a few questions that I'm going to go over quickly, and then I'm going to leave it open for everyone else. The first one is about the visa, and we pretty much went over that. You're going to get this upon arrival. And since we're doing a VIP, service, you're gonna have someone to help you actually go through that. Vaccination, some is yellow fever required?
Uh, Yellow fever is not mandatory.
Okay,
It's not mandatory here in Rwanda. So when it comes to vaccination, unless clans would be, sometimes we have clans that bump off and they want to visit Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya. For those other countries, it becomes mandatory. But for those that are doing Rwanda, no, it's not
okay.
mandatory.
So
Sure.
people coming from is Rwanda, I mean, coming from Rwanda to Tanzania, is Tanzania requiring yellow fever for Rwandans?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I didn't know that. That's a
I
good
know.
one. So if you're planning to do any other country, like definitely Kenya, Kenya is mandatory to have yellow fever, period. It doesn't matter whether or not you're coming from a
So
different
is
country. Yeah. If you're coming from the United States, they want yellow fever. So
Uganda.
Tanzania is going to be asking for the yellow fever card. Okay.
An exception with the elderly, but you must get a letter from a medical, approved medical profession, could be your doctor or something like that. So if you're elderly, you're exempted from, but you must have um, that exemption letter from,
So
you
what do
know,
you classify as elderly? 70, 80?
I must have had clients, we've had clients about 65 plus.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So malaria pills. Do you recommend? Because malaria is always option. Is it recommended for Rwanda since we go into the jungle?
Well, it is actually I would say not only Rwanda, but I would say majority of African countries, because malaria is still a big killer in Africa.
Hmm.
So yeah, I would I would I would recommend that for guests coming. But you see, all in all, the lodges they've got mosquito, you know, mosquito
Mosquito,
nets,
yeah, net.
mosquito nets. So one must have use the mosquito nets. But if you feel you cannot um, miss them, please have them, and and any other
Yeah.
medication that you feel would be depending on your life, because
And
your
depend
life.
on your physician too. So one
Yes.
of the things that I highly recommend for anyone, and I always do this for all my trips, I always say speak with your primary physician because they know your medical condition. So if they know, they might recommend other things, and definitely visit the CDC travel website because normally they have a whole list of things that they recommend. Recommend don't mean mandatory. I just want to say that. And it's just things that to be on the safe side, they like to recommend. And sometimes I'm not going to say it's overkill, but definitely speak with your primary physician, and it's up to you and your physician. But definitely yellow fever if you're traveling to other African countries, and malaria pills. And another question that probably asked, are credit card accepted?
Yeah, credit cards are accepted um, countrywide, I should say, but they are more um, popular used or accepted, you know, in big cities, and towns. But for local purchases, I feel you need some local currency. If you're going to do some souvenir shopping, if not Kigali, then if you've seen something in volcanoes, that is in Musanze, Lohengere, so you're not going to give a local a Rwandan credit card because they may not have the point of sale machine. But
That kind of
I
brings me
would
to my next
recommend
question.
probably to have some local currency, equivalent to local currency for your, depending on your budget, on what you intend to have as souvenirs in Rwanda or tipping or something like that. So yeah,
Will we
having
get a
some local.
chance to exchange our money? That would be the next
Yep,
question.
yeah, 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 yeah. You can, you can, especially the next morning before you drive to the genocide, or probably even at the airport, you can have very good assistance um, while still in the airport, or the next day with your local guides. They are very good at assisting clients um, at that area.
Mm. So
Sure.
the next question is, do you need to be in physical shape to trek? I thought it was quite interesting that you say if someone feel like they can't make it, that the porters that we got hired could actually take them the rest of the way. Is that true? Oh my God.
Um, you don't need experience in the hiking for you to go see mountain gorillas. All you need is the energy. Of course, there are some guidelines, flu cough, you don't have to have that intense. Uh, about the physical ability, we've had clients with hip operations, walking difficulties, of course, slow trackers. We must get all those that information, and we will ask any client with physical abilities. All this probably are meant to have some seamless planning for the elderly, all that stuff. Why we ask is, one, we want to at least to see that you've got the easy trek for trekking the easy families, and the allocation is actually based on that. whoever has got knee operation, you have a chance of probably walking 1 hour and then you meet the mountain gorillas. You see? Um, so for physical ability, 100% no, but I would say the potters are available. We've had guests last year. We had a family that had a son or daughter, you know, she had cerebral palsy. Yeah, yeah, she did the trek. The potters carried her, you know, for the return journey. So we use those, not like sedan chairs, but someone is very comfortable, very clean, and you go to see the mountain gorillas. So as long as you have the gorilla permit, the potters can come in handy. Or still, if you believe you can walk, but very slow, you'll have to. And remember, no one will leave you behind. The slowest trekker here leads the group.
Mm, that's good to know.
Sure.
And the next questions are, and I know this is going to be a common question asked, although I do have it listed already. Are meals included?
Yeah, meals are included in our itinerary from day one, depending on the arrival time. We have dinner on day one, and the rest of the other days we've got all the three, I would say, full board arrangement.
Mhm.
We have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner on a daily basis.
On a daily basis, yep. And no McDonald's.
No, 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 no,
None of those American fast food restaurants is funny. A lot of people still look for those things when they travel. Um,
no. But still, if we've got special dietary requirements, special dietary restrictions, we'll be happy to have them beforehand so that we can push them to the lodges, and the lodges will be able to cater for those preferences.
but that's good too. Do have a question. How about vegan options?
What do you mean vegan options?
Vegan options pretty much is very similar to vegetarian, but
Oh,
they a little bit more stricter than a vegetarian, so they pretty much like no honey, nothing, no byproduct coming from an animal.
that's what I mean. If anything requires special requirement, any restriction, people that don't have don't take any poultry, something like that,
Mhm.
please, no harm. Just send. No matter
Great
how
information.
long the list could be, they will prepare for everyone. Even complete vegetarians, they are well catered for.
Okay, that's good to know. And I do have a form on the itinerary that they could, well, before checkout that they could actually put that information in. Um, and we already talked about cash. Yeah, you could definitely exchange your money for tipping. Um,
Mm.
and another one, I just put this for fun, but you could cover this. Can I touch the animals? If I want
Mm.
to play with a golden monkey.
No, no. First of all, golden monkeys are very fast. They are not as gorillas. So neither you can't touch the mountain gorillas. You're not allowed. The rules say 7 meters away from mountain gorillas, but they can move towards you. I think you've seen some YouTube videos uh, touching plants, rubbing, shoulders with plants, falling on them, something like that. But you cannot go intentionally to. I highly doubt whether you can grab a golden monkey. They are very fast. They dash from one tree to the other. Literally they fly, I should say. So you cannot, neither can you grab a chimpanzee, neither you cannot.
Oh no, you don't
Impossible.
want to mess with the chimpanzees. They're not playing with you.
Okay.
And definitely and again, for the gorillas, because a lot of people do have, oh my God, gorilla, I get to play with them. No, you don't get to play with them. They get to play with you, but you don't get to play with them. So if they
Yeah,
touch
sure.
you or whatever, um, yeah, you can't say, oh, let me hug you back. Definitely you
Mm,
just have to stand there still and let them do whatever past.
sure,
Yeah. So I'm gonna open up for any other questions.
sure. Let me get my charger.
So do anybody else have any other questions that they
I have
written?
one. Can you
Okay,
hear me?
go ahead.
Okay. What are your recommendations for bug spray, mosquitoes or the flies? Should we bring ours from home, or do you guys have bug sprays available specifically for Africa? Like when we get to the big city, should we buy it there? Or what kind of bug spray or mosquito prevention or should we have for the jungle trips?
So Idris, she's asking about insect repellent.
That's a good question. I don't know exactly what type of repellent that one would use, but in our kit, but it doesn't specify which type of repellent. So, but ideally, I don't know what insect repellents. I've not used one here because even when we go to the
You're going out.
young, I think I would say, are we used to them or not? But can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I'm saying
Yes,
we may
yes,
not,
yes.
I may not be able to specify which repellent because to be honest with you, I don't know which repellents to use, you know, the type specifically, but I'm sure there are any that is healthy, that keeps someone's skin without any, I would say, any harm. To me, I think it can work. But yep, they are highly recommend insects, so many, whatever. So I would recommend. And also long sleeved shirts, they would be pretty much good for.
And another thing that's good for repelling insects is not wearing fragrances. Some reason certain insects are attracted to those things.
Sure.
So are you saying you don't wear any repellent, Idris?
Sorry?
You don't wear any repellent?
No, 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 not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. It's something that I've not applied on my body, for a while.
Yeah. So yeah, normally I like to wear long sleeves and long pants. Um, Definitely when I'm traveling to Africa. So
Yeah, so long sleeved shirts would be ideal, and long sleeve pants and waterproof because the forest makes a lot of rain.
mhm. It's a rainforest. Mhm.
It's a rainforest, so you must have it.
And it doesn't matter when we go. Rainy season, dry season is a rainforest. So definitely we have to wear waterproof shoes.
Sure, 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 sure.
Is there any other questions?
Do the hotels have Wi-Fi?
Yes, they do have Wi-Fi.
Okay.
It may not be as strong as you want it because it's a remote place, but yeah, the connection is there. The
Okay.
only challenge I've had from clients, the signal is not as strong, you
Okay.
know. Yeah, sure. But it's good to help you probably communicate with your family and those that are willing to have some 30 minutes check on their work assignments. they can do as well, because we've got clients that do they come on a trip, but still they have some commitments to make.
Okay.
Sure.
Any more, any other questions before we let Andressa go and enjoy dinner? Have you had dinner yet? It's too late, is it?
No,
It's going on
I
9
was
o'clock.
supposed to have it, but I had to finish these assignments. Yeah, we have to.
All right, I think we covered everything. Thank you so much and for your time.
Yes,
And hopefully we'll
sure.
see you in November. Hopefully I see you in November this year. We'll cross our fingers.
Sure. Yeah, cross our fingers for November, and I want to ask the guests that are looking forward for this, just so you know, you will have everything seamless from arrival to the end, and you'll have the VIP treatment at all levels. The selection of the lodges have been carefully taken about, so they are all mid-range, but they are very super.
Yes, yes. And also at the end of the checkout, make sure you use the promo code MAGIC because I'm actually taking $200 off this great experience. So for now, guys, I want to say thank you so much and see you soon, hopefully in Rwanda.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.